red line. We'll do this to 47th Street and carry
Monroe is next. Doors open on the left at Monroe.
To continue our green energy idea, we're using public transportation to transport these.
Okay, we walk down, you will fall. All right.
Hi, this is Nature's Little Cyclers, and we've been doing coffee grounds. As you know, Indirect Cafe in Chicago has been giving us their coffee grounds, and this week they gave us a real bonanza of coffee grounds, so that, especially special grounds. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, we began a bin that basically was contained all coffee grounds. So we're going to take a look at that right now and see how it is. So I'm going to take out the lid, and we're going to go in there, just in burlap. And I want to thank Brendan Tripp for also filming this. As you can see, we got earthworms on the burlap because we like burlap. Burlap is a nice eatable clothing. We know we like t-shirts. Now, one of the things we don't see a lot is the coffee. We see the worms. Remember, this was just a small patch of worms. Not as big. And my gosh, you can start seeing they're already beginning to break down. And look at that. So it's working pretty well. But I can see from the way they're acting, it's a little acidic. So I'm going to add a little bit of green food to it today. A little more coffee grounds, but a little bit more green fluid. As you can see, they eat it salad from an earlier episode. So I'm going to add some of this to it. Hopefully to break it up, and maybe a little bit of Excelsior. And we'll be back here in a couple of weeks to check out how this is doing. But this is really looking good. They are actually converting this very, very quickly. So we'll be back and talk more about coffee grounds later. And another thing we need to add, and I'm looking for, is eggshells. Eggshells are calcium carbonate, which is very important to what the worm's process is. And so one of the things you do is you just break it up. You can put them in there. If you put them in there as half shells, the worms will actually sit in there, and they can actually act as a trap. That's another way to do it. But I'm going to break this up, and then basically I'm going to take this extra material and just gingerly kind of build it into the top. And I feel some dryness in it, so I'm going to just do some water. As you see, I'm not pouring the water in. I don't want to drown them, even though worms need moisture to breathe. And they can live in weeks under the water if there's enough oxygen. But I just want to basically get some extra nice moisture in there. And get this back up, put our burlap back up, and we will see how this experiment goes in just a couple of weeks. And that's how it's going at Nature's Little Recycler. If you want to support us, we could really use your help. Go to Paganics.com and watch our progress. Watch us grow this urban vermiculture green tech venture. One of the best things we've learned this week at Nature's Little Recyclers by Paganics is that the coffee we fed to all of the tanks is just about gone as I refed them. Only in the one tank, which was all coffee, have I found any problem. And it was just a minor one of being slightly acidic. And they've gone through a lot of it. So I added a little green material, a little newspaper to the one that was all coffee. And I added coffee and food to all of them because they just went through it. So this is a great food, and it's a great way for us to take care of a problem. It can be 6 to 15 tons in Chicago. And I want to thank ING Direct for being the first to give us their coffee grounds and to working with us so well. We're learning so much in the process. They've already given us about 40 pounds of coffee grounds. They're going through it. So everything they're producing and giving us is being fed every week to the worms.